Hey, it's Christmas.
Oh, ho, ho, sit on my lap and tell me what you want for Christmas.
A Christmas Carol, one night. It's all up.
Hello, I'm Phil Hendry, and today we'll be discussing the man who created modern Christmas, Charles Dickens.
Holy shit.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Phil.
Let's go for it. Thanks, brother. So Charles Dickens is a smash hit in England. He's a very, very prominent writer, and he's sitting there thinking, I don't know, I've written Nicholas Nickleby, The Old Curiosity Shop, a thing called Oliver Twist. Now he wanted to speak about the degenerating aspects of English society.
English society is a big hovel. It's a steaming mass of just, whew.
And you've got poverty and the ragged schools. And the people are like, that's really great, man. You got another Oliver Twist, I'd really appreciate it because, man, you are boring me. Suddenly everybody's leaving. So now his publishers don't want to publish him. The people are not all that interested in his political points of view because he's a long-winded, dull creep. Huh? Okay. And suddenly, in 1843, out of the blue, comes an invitation.
I say, sir, you're invited to the Athenaeum of Manchester to come and convey, etc., so on and so forth.
So he goes up there, he sees the big sign. The Athenaeum of Manchester. It was actually a place where the working class and the poor could go to hear educated people speak. So he gives his speech, and he looks out across this vast sea of paces. Oh, man. Woo! Holy shit, dudes. And it is then that it hits him. You are the regular people, the working people, the people of England, but the man that I see is overseeing all of these people that I'm looking at tonight, he's an asshole. That's the word? Yes, I'm looking for the word asshole. And that night he went out and he walked and began to think about this tale. My God, I saw in the face of those people, I saw the very working man. I saw the man that I was and the boy that I was. Those are the faces of all the suffering people that I've been working with. Yeah, you're my people, aren't you? Yes, sir. In his mind, he's doing this. It's not really happening.
Oh,
and,
okay.
So it began to coalesce in his mind. He goes back to London, and he's beginning to put this together in his mind with the time of year. Well, this is the birth of Christ, isn't it? This is Christmas. He's thinking about love and charity and how all of that's missing in this world that he'd been living in. And Dickens suddenly got the idea for a tale of the working class coming in touch with this redemptive spirit of Christmas. And he says, I saw the man that was keeping them down, Ebenezer Scrooge. And his sister had a little boy who had what was called tuberculosis of the bone, Tiny Tim. He's thinking about this tale of these three ghosts. That was the Christmas spirit of whatever the happened before. The Christmas spirit of the future. The Christmas spirit of now. And he keeps writing, and he keeps writing, and he keeps writing until his hand gets tired, and he looks and he sees A Christmas Carol. Charles Dickens writes A Christmas Carol in 6 weeks.
Right away.
Gone. Yeah.
Wow.
Gone. Chuck Dickens, Charles, if you will,
I will.
went to his publisher, and the publisher said, Chuck, you haven't had a hit, baby, in years, man. I'm not gonna publish this. So he leaves, he goes home, and he's thinking, this is impossible, man. All these guys are telling me the same thing, that I stink on ice. Bull. I'm gonna self-publish. Yeah, that's right. He has John Leach, who was a very well-known illustrator, do the illustrations. I'm gonna go ahead and bind this stuff up. I can put it in multicolored paper. I can give it a little kind of a flash, give it a little, a little sell. They print 6,000 copies. Bang, sells out. It was a hit. A Christmas Carol is virtually internationally renowned. His fortunes take off again, and he begins to perform A Christmas Carol. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Charles Dickens. Hey.
Thank you, thank you. Let me get my glasses. All right, here we go. A Christmas Carol. You mind? Anyone? All right, great. Here we go. 1, 2, and a 1, 2, 3. A Christmas Carol. One night, it's all up, excuse my language, and begin. A Christmas Carol. I'm Charles Dickens. Suddenly, the ghost of Christmas present becomes the ghost of Christmas past. And Tiny Tim came bouncing down the lane. And he said, "Father, I'm crippled." And Bob Cratchit said, "No shit. What else is new?"
Are we still doing the show here? Anyway, with the publishing of that book, he reinvigorated the whole idea of Christmas as a time of gift giving and a time of embrace, a time of warmth, a time of sharing. And by the way, Christmas Carol was released on December the 19th, 1843. That's 174 years to the day tonight.
Cheers to Charles Dickens.
To you, man.
To you.
Hello, Z's. I'm Rich Fulcher, and today we're going to talk about how Teddy Roosevelt's children saved Christmas. Pretty cool. It was 1901. Teddy Roosevelt was just elected the President of the United States. His motto was, "Speak softly and carry a big dick." Theodore Roosevelt is a huge conservationist. You don't want to know.
Actually, I do.
Okay. Basically, in his lifetime, he had 5 national parks, 18 national monuments, 150 national forests. He loved those trees so goddamn much. And he thought, I don't want any tree cut down. I don't want Christmas trees in my White House. So Theodore, Teddy, was a family man. He had 6 kids and he loved his kids. Hi, I'm Archie. Hey, I'm Quentin. Hi, I'm Kermit. I'm Alice. I'm Theodore Jr. I'm Ethel. So he had all these kids and he was just brimming with like semen.
What was that?
A mouth fart.
It was a mouth fart.
Yeah. So it's Christmas time. Roosevelt would dress up as Santa for Christmas and he would say,
Oh, ho, ho, sit on my lap and tell me what you want for Christmas.
So Archie said to his dad, Papa P, can I have a tree this year? And Dad says, no, I do not want a Christmas tree here, because it'll ruin our forest. This is the thing. So the kids hatched a plan. Archie said to Quentin, we need to cut down a tree and show Daddy that Christmas trees are the way to go for everyone. Let's go to the edge of the White House lawn and chop the f***ing Christmas tree. So, sure enough, they cut down the tree and they get the help of the White House electrician, whatever that is.
Well, turn the lights on if they go off.
You're good at this. So Archie asked the electrician, and the electrician said, sure, I can do it. I can put lights on the tree. I'm a goddamn electrician. That's what I do. And so he put the lights on the tree, and then they put the tree in the seamstress's closet. Trees in the closet and the mother's a saga. And they said, we're gonna make Papa believe in the trees. The trees make you believe. The trees make you sneeze below the knees. So it's Christmas time.
Well, that's exciting.
It's exciting! They opened up the presents and everybody was happy with the presents. Then Archie and Quentin said, now's the time to reveal the Christmas tree. And they opened the door. And there it is, a Christmas tree with lights. And sure enough, the president says, Oh, what a great surprise. He appreciated the kid's ingenuity, but he was also kind of like, hey, whoa, this is kind of like not what I said to do. He decided to call his good friend and fellow conservationist, Gifford Pinchot. Theodore Roosevelt said, hey, come on over and give my kids the what for about this Christmas tree. So everyone gathers round. Gifford said, ha 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 ha, Tedro. Actually, if you chop down the biggest trees, it leaves sunlight for the smaller ones to grow, and there's less shit all over the place. Well, me. So President Roosevelt decides to lift the ban on Christmas trees, and everyone is excited.
Daddy, so this means we can have Christmas trees.
We're gonna have Christmas trees every year for eternity. And from that point forward, he was a changed man. Thanks, in large part, to Archie and Quentin, those two little abouts that chopped down the tree. Oh God, you little abouts.
Cheers,
Yeah.
Rich. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We'd like to sing you a song.
Yeah. Three golden ring. Holy night.
Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. It's pretty good.
Yep. Good one. Double click. Triple click.
Hello, my name's Brendan Walsh, and today we're going to be talking about the Santa Bandits. Our story starts in 1927, in the days leading up to Christmas. Marshall Ratliff got out of jail, and he's like, I'm out of jail. Time to rob another bank. But I need help, so I'm gonna get this guy, Ed Helms.
Oh, from The Hangover.
This guy, Henry Helms? I'm gonna get Henry Helms and Robert Hill, and they rope in Helms's brother-in-law, Louis Davis. And Ratliff says, help us rob this bank in Cisco. And Ratliff's afraid he's gonna get recognized. He goes, I wanna disguise myself. Hey, it's Christmas. So they steal this Buick, and they arrive in Cisco on the morning of December 23rd. Ratliff gets out of the car, he's dressed as Santa, and gets mobbed by kids.
You see Santa, kids are gonna come towards you.
Kids wanna see you. You're like the Justin Bieber of the times.
Yeah.
And he's a bank robber, but he's like, okay, I gotta go. Santa's gotta make a deposit, kids. So after that, he goes into the bank, and he doesn't even say anything. And the tellers are like, Santa's here. And then Hill, Helms, Davis all bust in with their guns a-blazing. They go, hey, all right, everybody shut up! We're robbing this place. Santa Ratliff gets $12,400 in cash and $150,000 in bonds. Santa's like, yeah! But this lady, Mrs. Blessingame, goes into the bank and f***ing loses her shit. She's like, ah! So she runs out screaming her head off.
I love that Duncan Trussell is this woman.
Hey, Terrence McKenna predicted this bank was gonna be robbed, man. So then the whole town town, they hear her running up and down the street. And at this time, the Texas Bank Association was like, well, we're offering $5,000 for anybody who shoots a bank robber during a bank robbery. And the whole town is like, we can use $5,000. That's a lot of money back now. So everybody grab their guns, because an angry mom's about to form. So they go into the bank while all the robbery's going on. And then everybody just starts shooting. Customers are getting shot. A guy gets shot in the leg. So the Santa bandits, they're like, well, everybody's shooting us. Get into the alley. Because that's where the Buick is. But everybody keeps shooting. A bandit gets shot. The bank president gets shot. Everybody's going nuts. All right, so the Santa bandits, they grab these two young girls as human shields to get into their Buick and get the out of there. So Santa's driving the car, and he looks at the gas gauge, and he goes, what the we're almost out of gas.
What a bunch of idiots.
And they're like, we drove 100 miles from Wichita Falls, and we didn't get gas in 1927. So they see this Oldsmobile, and they're like, give us your Oldsmobile. And he leaves. Helms gets shot. They're like, come on, put all the money in here and get Davis in there. And they get in the Oldsmobile, and then they realize, the keys. So they're like, well, we can't do anything to this. So then they like get back into the Buick and they leave Davis there. Poor Sat. He's and they're like, well, that sucks. And they're like, oh shit, we left the money in that car too, in the Oldsmobile. And they're like, what's it mean when you're swallowing too much?
Good question.
So they're trying to cross the Brazos River, but they get ambushed and they shoot Ratliff 6 times. So Helms and Hill just give themselves up and Ratliff survives. So the townsfolk are out there. They're like, we've had it with this guy. And they put a noose around his neck. They're like, we're gonna publicly lynch you because we've had it with your shit. And he's just like, hey, I got an idea. Forgive me. And then they're like, all right, no. And then they f***ing hang him. And well, yeah, then he's croaked. These guys f***ed up. Because back then, it was so easy to get away with crimes. They were stupid.
Is this a wig or?
There's a wig and a beard.
That's good.